There's clearly a bit of needle here, isn't there, between you two? We saw it when you got together in this news conference. What was being said to each other?
Yeah, of course. There's a bit of needle. We were actually going to box each other at the end of November, and Carl Froch is very excited and very sure of himself, and he thinks he's going to win this fight. I feel the same. I'm very confident and looking forward to this fight. And a few words were exchanged, but you know, nothing too explicit.
Well, I'm glad about that. The needle started, didn't it, when you went out and did that bit of sparring with Kessler, and it hasn't really improved since then. Did you learn anything from Kessler when you were out there that you're going to take into this one?
Sparring with Kessler was great. I was obviously preparing for a fight myself. I was boxing the same night, and it just let me know that I'm more than ready to compete at the level that Froch is at. And you know, I got some valuable rounds in there. Nothing too particular that I would take into this fight. Just more confidence that I know that I belong, you know, at this level, and that I'm ready and more than capable of fighting for a world title.
Well, that's something Carl Froch doesn't think you are. He says you're not ready. It's too big a step up for you. He said he's going to have you in the corner, back to the ropes, and taking pain. What do you say to that?
There's frightening words, I'm sure, but Carl lacks a lot technically. He'll lack a lot physically, and no doubt even mentally by the time this fight comes around. The sooner he realises that I mean business and I am confident and I do know I'm going to beat him, the more difficult it'll be for him. Right now he's trying to, you know, frighten me with experience and the fact that he's been in big fights, but I've also been in big fights. I might not have challenged for a world title before, but I've been in huge fights and I've had to deal with all the pressures outside the ring and of course inside the ring. But this time round, it's my time. You know, I'm truly thrilled and excited to be part of such a big fight, a fight that already is generating a lot of interest against a champion who people regard as a great fighter and a fighter who at the moment is at the top of his game. I personally don't feel he's at the top of his game, and I look forward to going there and pulling him apart. His theory that this is a mismatch and that he's just going to back me into a corner and let his hands go, you know, if he comes with that mentality, then he's going to be in for a big shock and a world of pain.
George, I don't understand it. You seem a very nice man, very articulate, very intelligent. This man is saying he's going to get you in the ring and cause you massive, massive pain, and you're standing there just shrugging it off and looking very calm. You can't be feeling that calm inside, are you?
I genuinely am. I genuinely know that I have more than the capability of beating Carl Froch, even though people will say that I'm, you know, a heavy underdog and that I probably won't be able to do it, and I haven't mixed with the calibre of fighters that Froch has. But, you know, he's been in more fights, but he's shown more about himself in the process. I've seen vulnerable parts of his game. I've seen where he's fell to pieces during fights. I've seen where other fighters have exposed him. He'll have to sift through a lot of my fights. There's probably only one fight that he will cling on to that will show me in any bad light. And because of that, and because I'm improving, and with each fight, he's in trouble. He's been deteriorating for the last few years, whereas I've been improving. And even if you look back to my last fight, which was on the undercard of him and Kessler, then you'd realise that if I had boxed him that night, I'd have beat him that night. You got Eddie Hearn at Matchroom saying that this fight he would like to have happened next year. I think he's looking at it from maybe a promoting side of things, because, you know, it might be a bigger fight next year, because I am more than ready to fight Carl Froch, and I will beat Carl Froch, and I can't wait to get in there and do it. The sooner the better, because while he's still regarded as the best fighter around in Britain, for me to go in there and beat him now would be perfect timing. I don't need to wait till next year. I want to get him now, and I will get him now.
He says that the fights you've had before are not in the same class as this one's going to be, and you haven't faced that sort of competition before. Let's talk about James DeGale, though, and that fight. How much of the experience that you learned in that one are you going to use in the build-up to this one?
Yeah, I got a lot of experience from that fight, although it was only a British title fight against a guy with only 10 or 12 fights. The build-up was exactly the same. It was a main event fight on Sky pay-per-view, sold out the O2 Arena. There was a lot of pressure, and probably more pressure than I'll ever face in the rest of my career, because there was such needle there. I knew James DeGale personally. I knew him before he turned pro, and there was an animosity from the start. I don't think Carl's really used to, well, he's already said that he's never had to box a fellow Brit for a world title fight, so he's never really had to sit there and listen to other British fight fans support his opponent, or have a British opponent sit there and sort of talk back to him and tell him that, no, the things you're saying are not correct, and I'm going to go in there and show you. And I think because of that, he's going to get frustrated, and he's in for something that he's never experienced before. Now, I've been there, and I maybe not boxed for a world title, but I've been in there in a high-pressure fight where that's the biggest thing, is dealing with the pressure, being able to get up in the morning and do your training when there's so much involved and so much relying on you coming out as a victor. And for me, it comes down to mental strength. I've never had a problem with my mental strength. I'm supremely confident. Hopefully it doesn't come across as arrogance, because I know that whatever happens during this fight, I will find an answer and beat Carl Froch, and I don't think he can say the same.